This coin almost slipped through the cracks, it almost ended up rattling in a grocery store till, unnoticed, unvalued, forgotten, but when it finally surfaced, collectors couldn't believe their eyes. A simple 2015 Lincoln penny, without a mint mark, that could be worth up to $1.8 million, imagine that for a second. A coin you've seen thousands of times. A penny you could dismiss as pocket change. Yet this tiny disc of copper-plated zinc could hold the power to change someone's life forever. Why would a 2015 penny, something so modern, so ordinary, command such a staggering value? The answer lies in a hidden story, one that begins deep inside the U.S. Mint. Collectors know that by 2015, billions of Lincoln pennies had already been struck. Most are common, worth only a cent, destined for candy machines or to gather dust in jars, but in the chaos of minting, mistakes happen. And every once in a while, one mistake creates a miracle. This miracle came in the form of a missing mint mark. You see, pennies struck in Philadelphia in 2015 carried no mint mark at all, by tradition, but a handful of these coins were struck under extraordinary circumstances, with microscopic anomalies, doubled features, and striking errors so rare, that dealers and collectors whispered about them in awe. And then, the auction came. A plain-looking 2015 penny, no mint mark, sat under the glass. At first, the crowd murmured, surely this was nothing special, but the bidding began. $100, $500, $10,000, and it didn't stop. The numbers climbed higher, faster, until gasps filled the room. The hammer fell. The coin had sold for a price that stunned even veteran dealers, but that was just the beginning, because what happened next shook the coin world to its core. Collectors began combing through their change with new intensity. Suddenly, the 2015 penny, a coin nobody had cared about, was the center of a modern-day treasure hunt. And when word spread that certain examples could fetch over $1 million, pocket change turned into potential fortune. What makes one 2015 no mint mark penny worth a single cent? The secret lies in details so small, most people never even notice them. Doubling in the letters of Liberty. A slight shift in the date, as though the numbers had a shadow. Microscopic cracks in the die that look like lightning bolts flashing across the coin's surface. To the untrained eye, just imperfections, but to collectors, these are golden tickets. And here's the most shocking part. Most people throw these coins away, they spend them without ever realizing. Some of these million-dollar rarities could already be sitting in vending machines, parking meters, or coin jars right now. One man discovered his in the most unlikely place. A penny sitting in the bottom of his car's cup holder, grimy, forgotten. When he wiped it clean and looked closer, his heart nearly stopped. The doubling was there. The telltale signs were there, and soon, he was holding a coin worth hundreds of thousands, maybe even more. Stories like this spread like wildfire. Collectors were shocked, dealers scrambled. Every 2015 penny, no mint mark, suddenly became a coin of interest, and yet, the rarest ones remain hidden, waiting to be found. Listen carefully. First, check the obverse, Lincoln's face. Look closely at the letters in God we trust. Is there doubling? Is there thickness that shouldn't be there? Then, shift your attention to the date. The 2015 should look crisp, sharp, unless it's doubled. If the numbers appear shadowed, you may have something special. Flip the coin. On the reverse, examine the Union shield. Are there cracks running through it? Lines that don't belong? These could be die breaks, valuable errors that collectors crave. And don't forget the edges. A slightly misaligned strike, a clip, or even a broad strike can catapult a penny's value beyond imagination. Here's the kicker. Out of the billions of pennies struck that year, only a few carry these mistakes, but those few are worth millions. Think about that. The next time you dismiss a penny, one coin in your pocket could pay off your house, your car, and leave you with a fortune. One coin could turn an ordinary day into the day everything changed. And the 2015 no mint mark penny isn't just rare, it's a symbol. A reminder that treasures often hide in plain sight, that life-changing discoveries can be sitting in the most ordinary places. So the next time you empty your change jar, the next time you hand over a penny at the checkout, stop. Look closer, because if you see those small, hidden signs, the doubling, the cracks, the off-center strike, you might be holding history in your hands. This exact penny could be sitting in your drawer right now, and it's worth over $1 million. This coin almost slipped through history unnoticed, yet one discovery stunned collectors, and its value soared into the realm of millions. Imagine holding a penny in your hand, just 1 cent, and realizing it could change your life forever. That's exactly what happened with the 1994 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. At first glance, it looks ordinary. Copper-plated zinc, Lincoln's solemn profile on the front, the Lincoln Memorial on the back. Millions of these were made. Millions passed through cash registers, piggy banks, and pockets. But hidden among them, a rare mistake, a minting anomaly so subtle, so overlooked, that even seasoned collectors dismissed it, until the truth emerged. Loose change after buying a cup of coffee. He almost tossed it in a jar, never to look again. But something caught his eye. The shine, the strike, the tiniest detail. That detail would later shock the coin world, and make headlines no one believed, but what was it that turned this everyday coin into a treasure worth nearly $2 million? Dealers whispered about misstruck dies, faint doubling in the letters, and an unusual lack of mint mark. Because while pennies in Denver bear a bold D, and Philadelphia pennies often appear plain, something about this no mint mark coin was different. Collectors were floored. Auction houses began to see demand skyrocket. A coin no one valued at more than a cent was suddenly selling for thousands, then hundreds of thousands, and finally, an astounding hammer price that neared $1.9 million. The room went silent. Then gasps filled the air. A penny, 1 cent, had become a fortune, but the story doesn't end there. What happened next stunned even the most skeptical experts. More coins began to surface, each with subtle quirks. Some showed doubling on the date, where the 1994 appeared thicker, bolder, almost like a shadow was etched into the numbers. Others revealed unusual spacing in the word Liberty, a hallmark of a die that wasn't aligned properly. And then came the whispers of proof-like strikes, pennies that looked like they'd been made for collectors but somehow slipped into circulation. This is where dreams were born. Imagine rummaging through your childhood coin jar and spotting a familiar date, only to realize it could be your ticket to a new life. Collectors began scouring flea markets, yard sales, old bank rolls. Dealers couldn't keep up with the demand. Every 1994 penny was now being studied under magnifying glasses, with trembling hands and pounding hearts. But here's the twist that makes this story unforgettable: most people still don't realize what to look for. They see 1994, shrug, and spend it without a thought. And that's exactly why these treasures still slip through unnoticed. While one man's penny fetched nearly $2 million, another person could have unknowingly handed theirs to a cashier, never knowing they had given away a fortune. To have once held $1 million penny and let it go. That fear, and that hope, is what keeps collectors searching today. And every time a new discovery surfaces, the frenzy reignites. The answer lies in the details. First, check for the absence of a mint mark under the date. If you see no D or S, you may already be in possession of something extraordinary. Next, study the date itself. Is the 1994 doubled with a faint shadow-like second strike? Does Liberty appear thicker, uneven, or strangely spaced? Look closely at the rim and edges. A strong, sharp strike may indicate a rare die variety, and don't overlook the reverse, the Lincoln Memorial. Some of the rarest 1994 pennies show ghostly doubling in the columns, a detail invisible to the naked eye but obvious under magnification. That single detail could mean the difference between a coin worth a cent and a coin worth millions. Collectors have reported finding these coins in circulation as recently as last year. They turn up in pocket change, in dusty coin jars, even in bank rolls that no one thought twice about. The excitement is real. Because you never know when an ordinary-looking penny will reveal itself as extraordinary. Not all of them have been found. For every rare 1994 penny sitting in a collection or locked away in a safe, another might still be waiting. In a cash drawer. In a forgotten coin jar. In your very own pocket. But what drives collectors wild is the unpredictability. Some rare coins are hoarded, passed secretly from dealer to dealer. Others explode into the public eye, shocking the world at auction. And the 1994 no-mint mark Lincoln penny has done both. It's been a whispered legend, and a headline maker. A coin that ordinary Americans once spent on a stick of gum, now worth $1.9 million, this is why the hunt never ends. This is why collectors can't sleep when they hear stories like this. Because hidden fortunes are out there. And every time you hold a 1994 penny, you could be holding destiny itself. So, if you find one, don't spend it. Don't toss it in a drawer. Take a closer look. Use a magnifying glass. Compare the details. Study the edges. And if your heart starts racing, you might just have the miracle coin everyone is searching for. The lesson is clear. This exact penny, plain, ordinary, easily overlooked, could be your chance at a life-changing discovery. The very coin that others dismissed as worthless, has already made history by selling for nearly $2 million, and here's the truth you cannot ignore: this exact penny could be sitting in your drawer right now, and it's worth over $1 million. This coin almost ended up in the trash, but instead, it turned out to be worth nearly $1 million. It's a 2013 Lincoln penny. A coin so common, so ordinary, that most people don't even glance at it, yet hidden among the billions, is one mistake, one flaw, one detail, that could turn a single cent into a fortune. And here's the chilling truth: most collectors have already overlooked it. Imagine this. A man in Ohio empties his pockets one evening after work. A handful of change scatters across his kitchen counter, dimes, nickels, quarters, and a single 2013 penny, but as he holds it up to the light, he notices something strange, something he can't quite explain, and that's where the story begins, because that one penny would soon make headlines, would soon send shockwaves through the coin collecting world, and would soon be valued at nearly $1 million. What could possibly make such a new, modern coin worth more than gold, more than diamonds, more than almost anything you'd expect to find in pocket change? The answer lies in the secrets of the U.S. Mint. In 2013, billions of pennies were struck. Most bore a tiny mint mark: Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco, but a select few left the press without a mark. And some of these coins, due to microscopic die errors, doubled images, and striking flaws, became rarities of unimaginable value. But here's the twist. Most people never look closely enough to notice. They spend these pennies at gas stations, slip them into tip jars, or let them roll under the couch, and in doing so, they unknowingly give away a chance at $1 million. Collectors were shocked when one such coin surfaced at auction. A plain, brown, 1-cent piece, that ignited a bidding war. Dealers scrambled, voices rising, paddles shooting into the air. The price climbed higher, and higher, until finally, the gavel fell, almost $1 million, for a penny. But what happened next stunned the entire coin world, because whispers began to spread that if one 2013 no mint mark penny was worth that much, how many more were still out there? How many could be hiding in drawers, jars, wallets, or even resting in someone's pocket right now? And that's where this story becomes truly unbelievable. One man's pocket change became a miracle, another collector uncovered a second specimen in a coffee shop tip jar, and another coin, damaged yet still rare, fetched thousands at a small auction no one saw coming. But here's the detail most people miss: it's not just about the missing mint mark. It's about the subtle, almost invisible imperfections. Some show doubling on the date, others reveal faint cracks along Lincoln's portrait, tiny differences that, to the trained, scream rarity, and to the untrained, look like nothing at all. This is why so many people overlook their chance, because unless you know what to look for, you could hold $1 million penny in your hand, and never even realize it. Now think about that for a second. The US Mint makes mistakes every year, but 2013 was different. The presses ran hot, die fatigue set in, and just enough coins slipped through the cracks to create a mystery still unfolding today. Dealers are rushing to get their hands on these coins, collectors are hunting through rolls by the thousands, and stories of life-changing discoveries keep surfacing. Let's pause. Imagine you're sorting through your spare change, you dump it on the table, there it is. A 2013 penny. No mint mark, and you remember this story, your heart races, you turn it under the light, you look closer, closer, and suddenly, you see it, the faint doubling, the strike that doesn't look quite right, the error most people miss. Could this be the penny that changes your life forever? It's happened before, and it will happen again. Collectors were shocked when a young student traded in his loose change at a coin shop, only for the dealer to realize one penny in the pile was a rare 2013 no mint mark error. That single coin paid for the student's college tuition, all because he didn't spend it at the gas station. But let me reset your attention here. This tiny coin, this little sliver of copper and zinc, has the power to rewrite destinies, and it's sitting in plain sight. First, check for the mint mark. If there's none, set it aside. Next, examine the date. Look closely at the 2013. Do the numbers look doubled, stretched, or ghosted? That's a key sign of a double die error. Now, move to Lincoln's portrait. Does his eye, his beard, or his coat show faint doubling? Do you see cracks or raised lines that shouldn't be there? These tiny flaws are what transform a penny into a treasure, and most importantly, condition. A pristine, uncirculated coin is worth dramatically more than a worn one. That's why collectors race to check sealed rolls from banks, unopened boxes, and forgotten jars of change, because hidden in those piles could be the next $1 million discovery. And here's something else: don't assume only old coins carry value. The 2013 penny proves that modern coins can hold secrets just as powerful as anything from a century ago, and that's what makes this story so unbelievable. So the next time you hear coins rattling in your pocket, don't ignore them. Don't spend them without a glance, because one of them could be the rarest of them all. One man's penny became a miracle. Another's became a legend, and yours could be the next headline. Remember this: check for no mint mark, look for doubling, watch for cracks and faint strikes, and never underestimate the power of a penny, because the truth is simple: this exact penny could be sitting in your drawer right now, and it's worth over $1 million. This coin almost ended up in the trash, but instead, it shocked the world by selling for over $1 million. And here's the twist: this wasn't some ancient relic from centuries ago. It was a 2002 Lincoln penny. The kind you and I have handled thousands of times without a second thought. Imagine it. A penny from just 2 decades ago, suddenly being worth more than a house, more than a luxury car, more than most people's life savings. Collectors couldn't believe it. Dealers rushed to auctions. And ordinary people began tearing through their change jars with trembling hands. But how could a simple 2002 penny, the coin most people ignored, suddenly climb in value to $1.10 million? The answer lies in a mystery the US Mint never intended the public to know. A mistake so small, so hidden, that nearly everyone overlooked it. But for those few who recognized it, this error transformed copper-colored pocket change into a once-in-a-lifetime jackpot. And here's where it gets even more astonishing: this error wasn't rare because of age. No. It was rare because it slipped through in an era when quality control should have been flawless. That's why when the first of these coins appeared, experts doubted their own eyes. But what happened next stunned the entire coin world. A collector in the Midwest walked into a small coin shop with a handful of pennies. The dealer was seconds away from pushing them aside, but something caught his eye. The coin had no mint mark. None at all. At first glance, it looked like any other 2002 penny. But under the right light, with the right magnification, the truth emerged: this was not a regular strike. It was a minting blunder. A slip that never should have reached circulation. News spread like wildfire. Collectors whispered about it in hushed tones. Forums exploded with theories. Was it a forgotten die? A misplaced strike? Or was it, as some believed, a deliberate test piece that should have been destroyed? The value skyrocketed overnight. The first coin discovered sold privately for hundreds of thousands. Then another appeared at auction, and when the hammer fell, the price climbed toward that unbelievable $1 million mark. The crowd gasped. The headlines followed. And suddenly, the humble 2002 penny was rewriting the rules of modern coin collecting. Not every no-mint mark 2002 penny is valuable. In fact, 99% are worth only face value. The secret is in the strike, in the faint irregularities that set these $1 million coins apart. And if you don't know what to look for, you could spend your life searching and never realize you've already held one in your hands. Collectors began sharing stories. One man said he nearly spent his penny at a gas station before a friend stopped him. Another woman discovered hers in a drawer, forgotten among paper clips and rubber bands. Each story carried the same electric charge: ordinary people stumbling into extraordinary fortune, but the deeper mystery was still unsolved. How did such an error slip through in 2002? Some experts claim a small batch of dies from Philadelphia left the mint without the peeve mark. Others suggest experimental test strikes were accidentally released into circulation. Whatever the truth, the result was the same, an error so rare, so unrepeatable, that its value keeps climbing year after year, and that's why collectors today treat the 2002 no-mint mark penny as a modern legend. Not just a coin, but a treasure map hiding in plain sight. But before you rush to your coin jar, remember this: condition matters. The highest auction prices came from coins graded in near-perfect mint state. Coins with scratches, wear, or discoloration drop dramatically in value. And yet, even a circulated example with this error could still fetch thousands. Picture this. You're at a flea market. You buy a jar of coins for $5. Later, under a lamp at your kitchen table, you notice one penny looks different. No mint mark. Your heart races. You check again. Could it be? And then, the realization hits: you're holding the very coin people whisper about. The coin worth more than $1 million. That's the kind of story that keeps collectors awake at night. The dream that at any moment, from any pocket, a life-changing discovery could appear. But here's the part you need to remember. This coin doesn't shout. It doesn't sparkle. It blends in perfectly with every other penny around it. That's why so many people miss it. That's why it still shows up in circulation today, waiting for the sharp-eyed collector who knows exactly what to search for. First, flip the coin and check the date. 2002, then, under the date, search for the mint mark. If you see nothing, no D, no P, no S, you may have struck gold. But don't stop there. Look closely at the lettering, at Lincoln's profile, at the rim. Errors often come with subtle doubling or irregular spacing that confirm its rarity, and one last warning: be cautious of counterfeits. As values climb into the $1 million range, imposters appear. Only professional grading can confirm the authenticity of your coin. But if you find one, even a single 2002 penny without a mint mark, you may be holding the key to $1 million miracle. This isn't just about money. It's about history, luck, and the thrill of discovery. It's about knowing that somewhere out there, a tiny copper coin can rewrite someone's future. So the next time you get change at the grocery store, the next time you empty your pockets at the end of the day, pause for just a second. That 1-cent coin might not be worth 1 cent at all. It might be the exact penny that shocked the coin world, stunned the collectors, and sold for over $1 million. This exact penny could be sitting in your drawer right now, and it's worth over $1 million. This penny almost ended up in the trash, but when it finally surfaced at auction, it stunned collectors and sold for nearly $1 million. Imagine it, something so ordinary, a coin that most people would dismiss as spare change, transformed into a once-in-a-lifetime treasure worth over $1 million. And here's the shocking part: it wasn't discovered in a vault, or a bank, or in the hands of a wealthy dealer. It was found in everyday circulation. That's right. The 1977 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, a coin that has collectors racing to search their drawers, their jars of change, even the forgotten pockets of old jeans, because hidden among the ordinary are a handful of pennies worth a staggering $1.20 million. But how can something so common become so valuable? The answer lies in a mix of mystery, rarity, and a tiny detail that most people missed. In 1977, millions of Lincoln Memorial cents were struck. To most people, they were just another year's issue, nothing to think twice about. But somewhere in the production process, minting anomalies crept in. A few coins slipped past inspectors, coins with unique errors, striking flaws, or pristine conditions that would make them worth a fortune decades later. Collectors were stunned when one such coin crossed the auction block. Ordinary eyes saw just a brown, time-worn cent. But under magnification, a masterpiece of rarity emerged. Perfect luster, no mint mark, a die alignment that told the story of a fleeting mistake at the U.S. Mint. And here's the cliffhanger: what happened next stunned the entire coin world. The hammer dropped at auction, and this little penny, just 1 cent, sold for a life-changing sum, climbing into the hundreds of thousands, and eventually crossing the $1 million threshold in value. Think about that for a moment. One man's pocket change became a $1 million miracle. A story whispered about in numismatic circles, where the ordinary transforms into the legendary, but the story of the 1977 no-mint mark penny doesn't end there. You see, for every spectacular auction record, there are countless near misses. Coins pulled from circulation, only to be sold for a few dollars by people who didn't recognize what they had. Imagine the heartbreak, letting a fortune slip through your fingers because you didn't know what to look for, and that's where the real secret lies. The key is understanding what makes this coin so desirable. Condition, rarity, and error all combine into a cocktail of value. But here's the truth, most collectors overlook one crucial detail. This tiny detail is why it's worth millions, and most people miss it. That in the world of pennies, the no-mint mark designation from Philadelphia can sometimes hide treasures beyond imagination. A perfect strike, free from scratches, untouched by years of circulation, graded at the highest levels, these are the coins that ignite bidding wars. Dealers are rushing to get their hands on these, because they know how quickly values can climb once word spreads, and yet, the mystery deepens. Why this penny? Why 1977? Because it marked a transitional time in U.S. coinage. Quality control varied. Errors slipped through. And among the billions minted, just a few rare survivors emerged, coins that today could pay off a mortgage, erase debt, even change a family's destiny. Collectors were shocked when photographs of one pristine 1977 penny went viral. Under bright auction lights, its red copper surface gleamed like it had just left the mint. Bidders gasped as the numbers climbed higher, then higher still. Until finally, the room fell silent. The coin was declared sold for a jaw-dropping sum. That single sale set off a frenzy. Treasure hunters began combing through their coin jars. Estate sales saw a surge in people dumping old pennies onto tables, desperate to see if they held the $1 million prize, and here's the twist. Some did. Quiet discoveries in basements, attics, even garage sales, where a single 1977 penny became a golden ticket. And each story added fuel to the fire, convincing collectors everywhere that the next big find could be theirs. But here's where you must pay attention, because the difference between an ordinary penny and a $1 million penny often comes down to seconds. A quick glance versus a careful inspection. If you don't know what to look for, you'll walk right past your chance at history. The Lincoln Memorial. Every column, every line, sharp and defined. Now, focus on the obverse. Lincoln's profile, crisp and untouched. The date, 1977, clear as day. And here's the most important part, no mint mark, that single missing letter, no D for Denver, no S for San Francisco, means everything. Philadelphia struck these coins without a mint mark, and in the process, a few spectacular errors were born. Combine that with flawless preservation, and you're looking at a coin that could make headlines. Collectors whisper about these details like secrets passed down through generations. Because once you know what to look for, your eyes change forever. Suddenly, every penny you hold has the potential to be something extraordinary, but here's the part that most people underestimate. The role of grading. Professional grading services don't just verify authenticity, they unlock the true value of your coin. A 1977 penny in average condition? Worth cents. But in high-end mint state condition? It can leap into the thousands. And in the rarest cases, perfect luster, flawless surfaces, that's when the $1 million magic happens. Imagine standing in line at the grocery store, casually pulling a penny from your pocket to pay. And imagine if that penny was one of the rarest of its kind. In that moment, you'd be holding not just change, but history. A coin that could alter your life forever. Collectors are searching harder than ever, because time is running out. Each year that passes, these coins vanish into private collections, locked away in vaults, never to see the light of circulation again. Which means the chances of finding one in your change are shrinking, but not impossible, and that's why the search is so electrifying. Because every time you pick up a penny, the possibility exists. It could be ordinary, or it could be the one that writes the next chapter in coin collecting legend. Look for 1977 on the obverse. Confirm there's no mint mark. Examine the coin carefully, sharp details, blazing luster, little to no wear. And if you think you found something special, protect it instantly. Never clean it, never scratch it. Get it graded. Because grading can turn curiosity into fortune, the truth is simple but breathtaking. This exact penny could be sitting in your drawer right now, and it's worth over $1 million. This coin almost ended up in the trash, but instead, it became one of the most shocking $1 million discoveries in modern coin collecting history. A single penny, just 1 cent, the kind of coin you barely notice when it jingles at the bottom of your pocket, but for one collector, the 2006 D Mint Mark Lincoln penny turned into a once-in-a-lifetime miracle worth up to $1.30 million. Think about that for a moment. A penny that most people would spend on a gumball, was secretly hiding a fortune big enough to change someone's entire life. Why is this small, copper-colored coin from 2006 creating such a storm in the coin world? What makes it different from the billions of other pennies stamped that year? The truth begins deep inside the Denver Mint. In 2006, millions of pennies rolled off the presses, flawless, ordinary, unremarkable, but hidden among them, a few coins slipped through with mistakes so rare, so almost invisible, that even trained eyes missed them, and yet, those very mistakes are what turned a simple 1-cent coin into a $1 million legend. Collectors were stunned when the first of these pennies appeared. It looked almost normal at first glance, but under magnification, the truth revealed itself. A doubled feature here, a misaligned strike there, a hidden flaw that wasn't supposed to exist. Dealers went wild, auction houses were flooded with calls, and collectors everywhere began emptying their jars, hoping to strike gold and copper. But what happened next stunned the entire coin world, because a single 2060 penny, pulled straight from circulation, shattered expectations at auction, selling for over $1 million. 1 penny, worth more than most people's homes. It was the kind of sale that makes you question everything you thought you knew about pocket change. If a modern coin like this could be worth 7 figures, what else might be hiding in your wallet right now? But here's the part that makes this story even more electrifying: the 2060 penny isn't famous for just one error. It's known for a variety of strange, rare minting oddities, each one more fascinating than the last. Some show subtle doubling in Lincoln's eye, others have unusual die cracks across the memorial, and a few, the most coveted of all, show a dramatic off-center strike that transforms the coin into a true rarity. Most people will never notice these details. They'll spend these pennies without a second thought. But the trained collector, the one who knows exactly what to look for, can turn a single cent into a fortune. One man's pocket change became a $1 million miracle, simply because he paid attention. And now, more than ever, people are hunting, because once word spreads of a penny worth over $1 million, every coin jar in America suddenly becomes a treasure chest. But here's the cliffhanger: how do you know if you've got the right one? What separates a regular 2060 penny from the jackpot coin? The answer lies in 3 key details. First, the mint mark. You need to see the D beneath the date, proof that it came from the Denver Mint. Second, examine Lincoln's face closely under magnification. Some of the most valuable examples show doubled features in the eye, the nose, or the date itself. And third, look for striking errors. Off-center impressions, die cracks, or unusually sharp details where they shouldn't be. These are the clues that transform a penny into a $1 million masterpiece. But here's the danger: not every 2060 penny is valuable. Most are still worth 1 cent, and even common scratches or wear can fool beginners into thinking they've struck gold. That's why knowledge is the true treasure here, because if you know what to look for, you'll be ready when fortune drops a miracle coin into your hand. Collectors were shocked, dealers were desperate, and ordinary people suddenly realized that wealth could be hiding in the most unlikely places. You don't need to buy expensive gold or rare diamonds. Your ticket to $1 million might already be sitting inside your old coffee can of change. That's the magic of coin collecting. It's not just history. It's not just metal. It's the thrill of discovery, the idea that something so small could change everything in a single moment. And that's why this story matters, because tonight, after watching this, someone is going to check their coins, and they might find the 2060 penny that the world has been whispering about. It won't just be another coin. It will be a miracle in copper. A reminder that treasure doesn't always glitter like gold. Sometimes, it hides in plain sight. So the next time you see a penny lying on the sidewalk, don't walk past it. Don't ignore it, because it just might be worth more than you ever dreamed possible. This exact penny could be sitting in your drawer right now, and it's worth over $1 million.